joining us on Mid-Morning, also streaming on CBS News Minnesota. I'm Maria Lizignoli.
And I'm Beret Leone. Heather and AJ have the day off. We are once again seeing a number of crashes and spinouts out on slick metro roads this morning.
We want to take you right out to the latest traffic conditions. Right here you can see in Minneapolis on 394, we're looking at both westbound and eastbound lanes. This is Theodore Wirth Parkway. We have some slick roads out there. MnDOT reporting this is still partially covered with ice. So please be careful because a lot of traffic backing up here in the metro. A lot of red, orange, yellow on the roadways. Take a look, though, at video from yesterday showing a couple of examples of some of what drivers had been dealing with all over the metro, spinning and sliding from Brooklyn Center down to Lakeville. Once again, we want to remind you that this could very easily happen again today, so please be careful out there. The State Patrol saw more than 330 crashes yesterday, which is just a few dozen less than what we saw during Sunday's blast of snow.
And make sure you know where to not park your car. Both Minneapolis and St. Paul have declared snow emergencies. You can call the numbers on your screen for info on the Twin Cities, or you can head to our website to see the rules where you live. And of course, we've got a little more snow today, Joseph, but nothing that's gonna, cause another snow emergency today.
Yeah, we're not gonna get another 5 to 8 inches, and we even had 10 inches going back on Sunday in areas of Wisconsin. So nothing like that, but enough to really slow things down. Obviously, we're just going through traffic, and I want to give you an update now. National Weather Service up there in Fargo has decided to go with a winter weather advisory for those counties up there, and it does include areas extending closer to Bemidji there. So just please be careful in that area of the state, and I should say that's the Grand Forks location there, not Fargo. But anyways, maybe some freezing drizzle as that warmer air moves in the northwest. For us, we'll be dealing with this kind of isolated pockets of snow. We had one early this morning. We had a coating on the ground, and we'll probably get another one here before we get to midday. This is all associated with this system up in Manitoba. We do have a warm front that's actually kind of draping a little bit closer to the cities at this point now as that warmer air starts to move on in. I'll zoom on in, though, and show you what's going on. It's pretty quiet, but look up towards Silver Creek there. You can kind of see some more snow that will be drifting southeastward here over the course of the next hour. So just expect it to pick back up again. If you're going to be out before noon, get ready for some slippery roads. Temperatures at 11 degrees. 20s there, though, out to the west. That's where that warmer air is moving in. You can see Fargo is at 26 degrees. As I zoom on in, you can see Coon Rapids, Blaine, Twin Cities, Eden Prairie, all in the double digits right now. And our trajectory is to take us all the way up to the 30s. But it's not going to happen until late tonight. All right, so snow depth is looking pretty good. 6, 7, 8 inches on the ground. I think we could get a little more as we go through this morning. And then tomorrow morning, we have another system that's probably going to bother the morning commute. So I want to give you all the details on that. And we'll discuss what's going to happen there for New Year's Eve night. Do you need a rain jacket? Do you need to bundle up? We'll see. So we'll talk more about that in about 10 minutes.
Cool, Joseph, thank you.
Police say a teenager they were trying to help died when someone fired bullets into a Minneapolis home. It happened Sunday evening in Jordan neighborhood on the city's north side. We saw investigators going door to door yesterday trying to gather information. They say the victim is a 17-year-old boy. Police have been working to steer him on a better path after he was involved in past crimes. Police Chief Brian O'Hara told us they still don't know if the boy was the intended target in the shooting.
Charges are revealing more about the death of Andrea Merrill, a hospital security guard that police say was attacked on Christmas Day. It happened at M Health Fairview Lakes Medical Center in Wyoming. That's just north of the metro. Prosecutors yesterday charged 35-year-old Jonathan Winch with Merrill's murder. Investigators say he was a patient trying to leave the hospital when he wasn't allowed to. When police got there, they found Merrill unconscious in the parking lot, and Winch was trying to get into her security vehicle. The medical examiner says she died from head trauma.
Navy SEAL, firefighter, farmer, loved one, and friend. A Minnesotan with many titles is being remembered for the way he helped others. First responders and family members gathered in Forest Lake yesterday. Police say a teenager they were trying to help died when someone fired bullets into a Minneapolis home. It happened Sunday evening in the Jordan neighborhood in the city's north side. We saw investigators going door to door yesterday trying to gather information. They say the victim is a 17-year-old boy. Police have been working to steer him on a better path after he was involved in past crimes. And Police Chief Brian O'Hara told us they still don't know if the victim was the intended target of the shooting. Charges are revealing more about the death of Andrea Morel, a hospital security guard police say was attacked on Christmas Day. It happened at M Health Fairview Lakes Medical Center in Wyoming. That's just north of the metro. Prosecutors charged 35-year-old Jonathan Winch with Morel's murder. Investigators say he was trying to leave the hospital when he was not allowed to. That's when police got there. They found Morel unconscious in the parking lot and Winch trying to get into her security vehicle. The medical examiner said she died from head trauma. 5 snowmobilers are in the hospital recovering after falling through the ice. It happened about 6:30 Sunday night on Lake Vermilion near the tavern on the Bay Hotel. The St. Louis County Sheriff says they went through a near pressure ridge that had formed on a marked trail. Tavern employees and a few others raced to help get the group out. 4 adults and 2 kids ended up in the water. 5 of the 6 were treated for cold exposure. The DNR says 2 of the 4 snowmobiles have been recovered so far. A Navy SEAL and firefighter is being remembered as someone who always went out of his way to help others. 52-year-old Tim Burtz died 3 days before Christmas after a serious medical incident. John Lauritsen shows us the legacy Burtz leaves behind.
Firefighters from 3 cities and friends from across the state turned out in Forest Lake to pay their respects to Tim Burtz.
All in, all the time. You will hear those words when someone talks about Tim Burtz.
Burtz worked for Harris and Lino Lakes fire departments, and on December 17th, he graduated from the St. Paul Fire Academy, but passed away just 5 days later. Fire Chief Butch Inks, who will retire this week, handed Burtz one of his last badges.
Firefighters always say, we'll never forget. That's just not a punchline for us. We really live by that. We will never forget firefighter Burtz.
Before he was a firefighter, Burtz was a highly decorated Navy SEAL. His wife, Andrea, says the couple would have celebrated their wedding anniversary on Tuesday.
I'm so proud of what he has done for our country and for our community.
Throughout the service, a theme emerged of how Tim Burtz gave back. And his sister Katie let everyone know that in many ways, he's still doing that.
She talked about her own son needing an organ donation and how her brother made it a point to be a donor himself.
Tim's liver went to a 33-year-old female, his lungs to a 65-year-old male. Please, please consider organ donation to help save lives. I feel blessed and sad all at the same time. I will deeply miss my husband. Rest in peace, Tim. I'll see you on the other side.
In Forest Lake, John Lauritsen, WCCO News.
Burtz was also a farmer who enjoyed hunting, fishing, and playing with his dogs. His family is asking that any donations go to the St. Paul Fire Foundation. And remember, you still have time to make a difference in a veteran's life in 2025. Our ongoing partnership with the Minnesota Assistance Council for Veterans, or MACV, continues through New Year's Day. One way you can help is through donations. You can text MACV to 44321 or, of course, donate online at wcco.com/holidays. Coming up, another update on weather, plus more of this morning's top headlines. Then see where the National Guard will begin its new deployment ahead of New Year's Eve. And more cancellations at the Kennedy Center after President Trump added his name to the building. That's ahead. Stay with us.
Checking in now with next weather meteorologist Joseph Dames, and it's still pretty cold out there.
Yeah, it's still very cold, single digits out there. Yeah, so things are going to still be icy. I mean, we had all the snow on Sunday. Yesterday, if you went out, you had to battle with those road conditions, and definitely some improvements, but since it's so cold and we had all that snow, there's still going to be some problems. Let's move a little bit slower this morning. Weather Watcher Network showing basically single digits around the area. A few double digits, though, kind of squeezing into the forecast this morning. I have 12 degrees there just in areas of northern Ramsey County there, coming out of Lino Lakes at 12 degrees. As I zoom on out, you'll see a few more temperatures, 17 down south and 7 degrees up north. So kind of depends on your location this morning. That warmer air will be creeping in from southwest up to the northeast as we go through the day today. Okay, we are anticipating more snow. There was our big snow event on Sunday, and then carrying into the overnight, we had about a trace, and then it wrapped up by yesterday morning, and we didn't have anything fresh from that point on. We're at 14.8 inches of snow for the month of December, and I think we're going to get some today, some tomorrow, so a few more blue boxes to add to our December total. We're doing pretty good. Last couple of years, we didn't do very well. We had very little snow, so we're kind of getting back onto something that feels a little more traditional for us. Okay, I want to show you what's coming our direction. It's kind of not very organized, as you could tell. There's some patchy snow up north towards International Falls and then extending through the area. This system is going to kind of feel like this all day today. We'll have our best chance for snow mid to late morning through about lunchtime, and then we may catch like some areas of some patchy snow as we go into the afternoon and evening as well. Tuesday by 8 a.m. weather models are indicating snow from about the cities. I'm expecting like more so flurries from about 8 to 9. And then steady snow up north, and that will spread down to the southeast into western Wisconsin. Temperatures still in the teens by late morning. Notice that they warm up though as we go through the day. Snow departs the area, maybe just something a little patchy late tonight. Then we have a break, and then we have a very quick moving system that's going to follow this. By the time we head into tomorrow morning, we're going to see another round of snow. So when you're joining us at this time tomorrow, I'll be talking about snow again, all part of a second system that's going to be very fast paced. It's going to move through by lunchtime, and then we're good for the rest of the year, which is only going to be, another 12 hours or so. Now we have on Thursday maybe another snow event that's going to clip up north, and this is also going to produce maybe just some smaller totals before it departs the area. So I definitely think probably the next couple of days is going to be busy as far as tracking little areas of snow, but nothing too significant, all right? Here's what I'm thinking for our snow totals. Anywhere from about 1 inch to 2 inches, and that's including both systems, the one today and tomorrow. They'll both bring us about 1/2 inch to 1 inch, and that's about it. Behind it, we start off the new year, ladies, at 13 degrees, 16 on Friday. We warm up heading into the weekend. I have 23 on Saturday. Getting close to freezing there on Sunday at 31, but it should be a little bit warmer as we head into the weekend.
This continues as President Trump spends the holidays at Mar-a-Lago. The president discussed an alleged drug site that was targeted as the Pentagon also confirmed another boat strike in its pressure campaign against Venezuela. As CBS News' Kamal Afzali tells us, the president also leveled threats at Iran and Hamas.
He can be very difficult on occasion, but you need a strong man.
There was barely a sign of any private disagreements as President Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu stood publicly united at Mar-a-Lago in their first meeting since the fall. The president lobbed threats at Iran over Israel's fears that Tehran could be rebuilding its ballistic missile stockpile.
If it's confirmed, look, they know the consequences. Consequences will be very powerful.
The president threatened Hamas once again that if the group doesn't disarm, a key requirement to move his peace deal forward,
they'll be held to pay for them, and we don't want that.
Phase 1 also calls for Hamas to hand over the remaining Israeli hostages, alive or dead. But the body of Ran Gavili is still in Gaza. The leaders met with his family Monday. Meanwhile, Hamas says Israel is not upholding its end of Phase 1.
Israel's lived up to the plan, 100%.
The ceasefire has mostly held, but both sides accuse the other of violations. Humanitarian groups still warn of limits on the flow of aid into Gaza. Also Monday, President Trump was asked about a strike on an alleged drug site inside Venezuela.
There's a major explosion in the dock area where they load the boats up with drugs. They load the boats up with drugs, so we hit all the boats.
The president didn't say where or when, or crucially, who carried out the strike. The Pentagon has directed questions to the White House, though it did announce that the U.S. military struck another suspected drug boat in the Pacific, killing 2 people. Kamal Afzali, CBS News, London.
Yesterday's boat strike was the 30th launched by the Trump administration against an alleged drug target in the region this year. So far, more than 100 people have been killed. Louisiana has asked the National Guard for help patrolling New Orleans. President Trump ordered the deployment of federal troops to the city for heightened security during New Year's Eve celebrations, the Sugar Bowl, and Mardi Gras. The deployment, which begins today, comes after a deadly attack on New Orleans' Bourbon Street. 14 people were killed when an Army veteran with ISIS ties drove a truck into a crowd celebrating New Year's Eve. The Defense Department announces a big Boeing contract with a major ally, fresh off of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's visit with President Trump at Mar-a-Lago yesterday. The Pentagon announced Boeing has been awarded an $8.6 billion contract to build F-15s for Israel. The Defense Department says the deal requires Boeing to deliver 25 aircrafts with an option to add 25 more to Israel's Air Force in the next 10 years. Several artists are canceling performances at the Kennedy Center. Jazz group The Cookers backed out of 2 gigs set to take place New Year's Eve at the Washington, D.C. venue. They said they play music that, quote, reaches across divisions rather than deepening them. That appears to be aimed at the center, adding Donald J. Trump to its name earlier this month. Acts including Doug Verone and the Dancers and Christy Lee also announced they are canceling upcoming performances. They specifically said the name change is why. The center's president says the artists were booked by the previous far-left leadership. Queen Bey has a new jewel in her crown. Forbes determined Beyonce has joined the Billionaire Club. She's the 5th musician to reach this milestone. The others are her husband, Jay-Z, Taylor Swift, Bruce Springsteen, and Rihanna. Beyonce's recent successes include her 2023 Renaissance World Tour, which grossed nearly $600 million. The following year, she reinvented herself with a country album, Cowboy Carter. That tour was the tour of that album, was the world's highest-grossing concert tour of 2025. Actor George Clooney and his family have been granted French citizenship. A Saturday notice listing all new French naturalizations includes Clooney, his wife Amal, and their twin children, Alexander and Ella. Clooney has previously voiced concerns about raising his children amid the glitz of Hollywood. He told the New York Times in February that their primary residence is a farm in France. They also have homes in England and near his family in Kentucky. All right, here is a live look outside downtown Minneapolis. Gloomy skies, next weather tower shining green because more snow is expected today. Let's check in now with Joseph.
Here we are on our Tuesday, and we have temperatures working their way back into the 30s. It's going to take all day, though. Yeah, it's going to be kind of cool through the morning hours, through about lunchtime. Teens to the lower 20s, and we'll kind of get that warmer air late tonight. It's
developments all day here on the stream. Thanks very much. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back with more headlines after a quick break. Of snow this weekend and more today.
More to come.
More today, yeah. But these systems that are moving on through are going to be like more low impact as far as snow totals go, and as much snow, the totals are just going to be on the low end. We've had a little burst this morning, and I still think we could get a little more, but it's all going to kind of come to an end as we get closer to probably about midday, early afternoon. For now, though, just plan on icy roads, a slower, commute this morning. And if you're going to be out and about this afternoon, hopefully you'll have some dry time to kind of get things done that you want to do. It's 11 degrees right now, but we will see temperatures pushing the 30s today, but it's not going to happen until late tonight. So for now, we're just going to go with gray skies, temperatures at 11. You can see some of that warmer air not too far away. Fargo's at 26, Sioux Falls at 20. So some of that warm air will be moving from west to east into our region as we go through the day, but right now it's definitely on the colder side. Okay, so we have some snow still coming through this morning. We have another round tomorrow, and then we have some dry time to start off the new year.
Okay.
I'll talk about New Year's Eve night, and we'll talk about what's coming up this weekend at 9.
All right, good deal. Thanks, Joseph. We'll have a preview of mid-morning coming up in just a few minutes.
Coming up on mid-morning, financial goals are always a top New Year's resolution.
Yeah, so our money expert is sharing 5 reasons why you may want to work with an advisor. Plus, how chill are Minneapolis and St. Paul? We're talking about a new list of most relaxed cities in the U.S.
It's a day to celebrate a food that a lot of people really love. We're looking for your favorite ways to enjoy bacon this National Bacon Day. And we're getting both cocktail and mocktail ideas for your New Year's party.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. We'll see you in a few minutes right here on Mid Morning.
Thanks for joining us on Mid-Morning, also streaming on CBS News Minnesota. I'm Maria Lizignoli.
And I'm Beret Leone. Heather and AJ have the day off. We are once again seeing a number of crashes and spinouts out on slick metro roads this morning.
We want to take you right out to the latest traffic conditions. Right here you can see in Minneapolis on 394, we're looking at both westbound and eastbound lanes. This is Theodore Worth Parkway. We have some slick roads out there. MnDOT reporting this is still partially covered with ice. So please be careful because a lot of traffic backing up here in the metro. A lot of red, orange, yellow on the roadways. Take a look, though, at video from yesterday showing a couple of examples of some of what drivers had been dealing with all over the metro, spinning and sliding from Brooklyn Center down to Lakeville. Once again, we want to remind you that this could very easily happen again today, so please be careful out there. The State Patrol saw more than 330 crashes yesterday, which is just a few dozen less than what we saw during Sunday's blast of snow.
And make sure you know where to not park your car. Both Minneapolis and St. Paul have declared snow emergencies. You can call the numbers on your screen for info on the Twin Cities, or you can head to our website to see the rules where you live. And of course, we've got a little more snow today, Joseph, but nothing that's gonna, cause another snow emergency today.
Yeah, we're not going to get another 5 to 8 inches, and we even had 10 inches going back on Sunday in areas of Wisconsin. So nothing like that, but enough to really slow things down. Obviously, we're just going through traffic, and I want to give you an update now. National Weather Service up there in Fargo has decided to go with a winter weather advisory for those counties up there, and it does include areas extending closer to Bemidji there. So just please be careful in that area of the state, and I should say that's the Grand Forks location there, not Fargo. But anyways, maybe some freezing drizzle as that warmer air moves in the northwest. For us, we'll be dealing with this kind of isolated pockets of snow. We had one early this morning. We had a coating on the ground, and we'll probably get another one here before we get to midday. This is all associated with this system up in Manitoba. We do have a warm front that's actually kind of draping a little bit closer to the cities at this point now as that warmer air starts to move on in. I'll zoom on in, though, and show you what's going on. It's pretty quiet, but look up towards Silver Creek there. You can kind of see some more snow that will be drifting southeastward here over the course of the next hour. So just expect it to pick back up again. If you're going to be out before noon, get ready for some slippery roads. Temperatures at 11 degrees, 20s there, though, out to the west. That's where that warmer air is moving in. You can see Fargo is at 26 degrees. As I zoom on in, you can see Coon Rapids, Blaine, Twin Cities, Eden Prairie, all in the double digits right now. And our trajectory is to take us all the way up to the 30s, but it's not going to happen until late tonight. All right, so snow depth is looking pretty good. 6, 7, 8 inches on the ground. I think we could get a little more as we go through this morning. And then tomorrow morning, we have another system that's probably going to bother the morning commute. So I want to give you all the details on that. And we'll discuss what's going to happen there for New Year's Eve night. Do you need a rain jacket? Do you need to bundle up? We'll see. So we'll talk more about that in about 10 minutes.
Cool, Joseph, thank you.
Police say a teenager they were trying to help died when someone fired bullets into a Minneapolis home. It happened Sunday evening in Jordan neighborhood on the city's north side. We saw investigators going door to door yesterday trying to gather information. They say the victim is a 17-year-old boy. Police have been working to steer him on a better path after he was involved in past crimes. Police Chief Brian O'Hara told us they still don't know if the boy was the intended target in the shooting.
Charges are revealing more about the death of Andrea Merrill, a hospital security guard that police say was attacked on Christmas Day. It happened at M Health Fairview Lakes Medical Center in Wyoming. That's just north of the metro. Prosecutors yesterday charged 35-year-old Jonathan Winch with Merrill's murder. Investigators say he was a patient trying to leave the hospital when he wasn't allowed to. When police got there, they found Merrill unconscious in the parking lot, and Winch was trying to get into her security vehicle. The medical examiner says she died from head trauma.
Navy SEAL, firefighter, farmer, loved one, and friend. A Minnesotan with many titles is being remembered for the way he helped others. First responders and family members gathered in Forest Lake yesterday to honor Tim Burtz. The 52-year-old died from a serious medical incident 3 days before Christmas and less than a week after graduating from the St. Paul Fire Academy. At yesterday's service, those who knew him spoke about the ways he gave back. Even after his death, Burtz saved lives through organ donation. His family is asking that any donations go to the St. Paul Fire Foundation. Minnesota State Senator John Hoffman is once again running for re-election. Hoffman announced he's running for a 5th term on Facebook Monday afternoon. The 60-year-old lawmaker made headlines over the summer after he and his wife Yvette were shot multiple times at their Champlin home. This happened on the same night former House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark were shot and killed in their Brooklyn Park home. Federal and local officials have called these attacks politically motivated. In his announcement, Senator Hoffman said in part, quote, "Minnesotans are tired of the vitriol. We have seen firsthand where hate and dehumanization can lead. My family survived it. Decency matters. Speaking up matters." Hoffman represents Minnesota's Senate District 34, including areas like Rogers and Champlin.
No deal in Minnesota's largest school district, where teachers say they could start striking in as soon as 8 days. Anoka Hennepin educators voted to authorize a strike last week. A mediation session ended yesterday without an agreement between the union and the school district. About 38,000 students could be impacted. The two sides are scheduled to meet again on Friday. Okay, it's one of those foods that people can't seem to get enough of. I know I can't.
We're talking about bacon.
Of course we are.
Because today is National Bacon Day. So whether you serve it up for breakfast, stack it on a BLT, bacon, it's just one of Americans' favorite foods. I was kind of worried that when I was reading about National Bacon Day, I was worried that one of you might be like a vegetarian. I was like, oh dear, drama.
I hate bacon.
I can't stand it.
It's just like so versatile. Like you could throw it on
Yeah, oh my
anything,
gosh.
breakfast, lunch, dinner. And now that you said BLT, I'm like, I think I need to
me
stop
too.
and get bacon after I leave work.
Right?
Get
Right?
lettuce.
It can
mayo.
even go in drinks, Bloody Mary.
You're so right. It is versatile.
I know. Even, ice cream or like donuts, like those maple donuts.
Yeah, with the bacon.
on top. Yum. I know, it is so versatile.
It is.
And Minnesotans, according to this survey, spend like almost $60 a year on bacon.
Really?
Yep. And
knew?
we're up there. We're up there in the States. We spend some of the most in the country
A good
on
hearty
bacon.
Midwestern meal with
Breakfast.
bacon.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no doubt about it. I mean, we even fry it up at the fair. I mean,
Oh
like,
yeah, all the things.
yeah, bacon's pretty good.
Bacon really, and it's so versatile.
deserves a day.
It does deserve a day, and what a better day right before the new year. We want to know, though, what do you use to make bacon with? What's your favorite way to eat it? Do you like it alongside eggs for breakfast? Maybe a sandwich mixed into a hot dish, maybe? Send us your thoughts. Go into our website or our WCCO Facebook page, and we'll share some of those thoughts a little bit later in the show. Are you ready to say farewell to 2025?
Well, we're talking about the celebration of Good Riddance Day in Times Square, and what will people not miss about 2025? And hey, where do Minneapolis and St. Paul rank on a new list of the most relaxed cities in the U.S.? That's next.
In Times Square. This is a chance to throw away everything they won't miss from 2025. That is a very interesting tradition.
I know. I've never heard of this, but I do kind of like the concept of, leaving the bad and, starting afresh. I love a new beginning.
I kind of feel like I already did that, but to put a name on it like Good Riddance is like, oh, that's a good idea.
There we go.
I'm all about this.
Do you have anything you're going to say good riddance to in 2025?
I'd probably just like poor health scattered across family and friends. Like, can we just send that somewhere?
Yeah.
This is a selfish good riddance for me. I'm like, I could think larger scale for the world, but for like my family, it's like we've had some poor
health issues.
So I'm like, let's get that out of the way.
No,
Let's
that's
get some
fair.
health in the
Absolutely.
fam.
I feel like I want to say goodbye. This might be difficult on this shift, you guys, but I want to say goodbye to bad sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Or I want to prioritize my sleep more. You know, it's hard when you wake up at 2 a.m.
It really is.
So I gotta just, you know, nap more, I think is my goal.
Yeah.
I'm saying
Or
goodbye
go
to
sleep
bad
early.
sleep. Yes, or go to sleep early. Exactly.
It's hard, though. It's hard. It is kind of a reframing of a New Year's resolution.
Yeah, it
I feel
kind of
like.
is. Yeah.
Because for me, I feel like I want to say goodbye to just buying needless things, like buying another skincare product on TikTok Shop. Like, I don't need
so hard.
that.
I know.
Right?
I know.
just don't need that. So maybe you know, with my resolution of having better money management.
There you go. Yes. No, that's good. It is a good way to reframe it. I like it. A couple common ones, you know, saying goodbye to debt, saying goodbye to bad vibes.
I like that. Say goodbye to bad vibes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's just ditch the bad vibes.
Bye, bad vibes.
Love
Yeah.
it. Love it.
Yeah. Procrastination.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, and of course this happens before the ball drop, because you know, New Year's Day is when you put the things you want to bring into the new year on confetti, you know, throw it and all that jazz. But I like this tradition. It might be a new one.
Yeah, right.
That I need to
Get rid
commit
of all
to.
the negative and say goodbye to it in the year. But yeah, it is an interesting tradition.
Yeah, for resolutions, you have to put a lot of work into them most of the time.
Yeah.
So I like something where I could just say goodbye to it and be like, oh, that's easy. I'll just
Rip it up, toss it in the
throw it out
trash.
there.
Yeah.
Love that.
Oh my
man.
goodness.
I think one thing I'm gonna hope for in the new year is being more chill.
Oh, there you
And
go.
this is a good place to do it.
Absolutely, because Minneapolis and St. Paul, they made the list for the chillest cities, most relaxed cities, according to Lawn Starter in America. So Minneapolis ranked number 10.
Wow.
St. Paul is number 30.
Okay.
Which is kind of interesting.
I don't know much about Lawn Starter, but
Yeah.
okay, so
Right.
I could see it, though. I always kind of pictured St. Paul to be a little more chill than Minneapolis.
Me too,
because it's a
actually,
smaller city. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Lawn Starter took a look at a couple different things to come up with this rating.
Okay, how they gauge it?
So they looked at, you know, how mental health well-being, physical well-being, financial, work stressors. I imagine, you know, less work stress, higher chillness, environmental stressors, social stressors, and then recreation options. I suppose people who can get outside more are
Honestly,
happier.
I think outside has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, right?
And we have such beautiful access to nature and lakes and
Yes, we do. We do.
The last one I attached to the most, I thought this was just a personality thing. It was like, oh, are you chill? Is this that? You know, this is a bunch
It's
of
backed
chill.
up by something, right?
You know, Minnesotans are just nice and chill. They just
So
they just
chill.
love
You
it.
know,
So
like
the recreation part
Hangtown.
makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But seeing all the other stuff, physical well-being, financial well-being, of course,
Yeah.
are going to be more chill. So I'm glad that we can help in that. You know,
Yes.
10's good, right?
The
Yes.
chillness, yeah. And I know, you know, over in Wisconsin, Madison was number 9. This is for large cities, though, and we did rank pretty high for small cities. Woodbury was number 3, Plymouth number
cool.
9. So, you know, we got some
get it, I get it.
representation.
what I thought was interesting is a lot of the top 10 are in California.
So it is a personality thing,
that's what
right?
I'm saying.
I feel like it's gotta be.
Yeah,
Go to the
exactly.
beach, no
Yeah.
concerns, you
Yeah.
know. Just,
Oh, yeah.
It makes sense.
Go.
If you're in
life.
if you're in a beautiful area,
Yeah.
you've got a beautiful mindset.
Totally.
So San Jose, California was number 1.
Yep.
And San Francisco.
Number
okay.
2.
Yeah.
Seattle
squeezing in.
Yeah, Seattle squeezing in, which is
Seattle.
interesting because Seattle is expensive, and
Yeah.
that financial stress is a big part of making
Yeah.
a city not so chill.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then
So,
San Diego's on
man,
the list.
you know.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
And then good old Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah.
Hey.
All on the top 10. Ugh. One thing that wasn't so chill though today was the drive-in.
Oh my gosh,
to work,
no.
or maybe it was chill because it was a little icy out there. It was cold and icy.
Temperature-wise,
and, like, all the
chill.
things.
Yeah, but maybe a little stress out there this
Yeah.
morning. We had cars that ended up in the ditch at one point, had to get towed out. So it's still icy out there. And of course, it's cold. We've had some snow. You just have to be careful when you're heading out through the morning hours. But I love that we're capturing just a little sliver of blue right there over the Capella tower there. Also some low clouds also moving on through. First thing on the headlines is just an extension of what we've been discussing through the morning hours, and we're still noticing traffic problems even here at 9 a.m. So just be careful. The roads are still a little icy out there, and we had some snow 6:30, 7:30 to 8 a.m. So a little coating on some of the roads too. Just watch out, okay? We're going to have a little more snow probably before we wrap it up here midday to early afternoon. Another round tomorrow. We'll discuss that in just 1 second. Temperature's going to be warm today, and then they get cold again, and then we warm back up for the weekend. We're kind of doing that thing where we're up and down. So if we find a moment where it gets nice and warm, we could kind of clear out some of that snow and some of those bigger mounds. We'll tip you off when that's coming, and I think you might have a shot a little bit later today, but unfortunately I think this warm air that moves in is going to happen late tonight when you're probably in bed. Tuesday 9/18, notice a little patch of snow just up to the northwest, kind of cruising through portions of Sherburne County, up 94 there towards areas of Rogers and extending into Stearns County there, and then just some scattered snow to the north towards Cambridge into Wisconsin. Nothing too significant. I mentioned earlier today, it wasn't just going to be like, hey, from 7 to 9 a.m. we get this big burst of snow, all associated with the front, and then we're good. This is going to be kind of scattered here for the next few hours. On and off throughout the morning, we will be watching this snow. I think it's a little bit heavier up towards Duluth, and this will clip northern portions of Wisconsin. And then if you keep on continuing to look up to the northwest, it's a little quiet right now, but that doesn't mean you won't see a little more as we go into the early afternoon. The models are thinking that we're going to get at least one more good batch close to lunchtime before it moves on out. Did you see those little areas of green and light pink there? That's why we're still concerned about maybe some freezing drizzle in that northwest corner of the state today as warmer air moves on in. If you blink, you might miss our next system, though, right? It's supposed to move through early tomorrow morning. I think we're going to have the same conversation tomorrow about icy roads and snow on the roads. That clears out, though, and then the rest of your last day of 2025 should be dry. And I even think by late Wednesday night we start clearing out, and we're going to see some cooler temperatures moving on in. Biggest change to the forecast is maybe what's going to arrive Thursday north of us. I think we could maybe see some snow up towards Duluth, but we're going to monitor that over the next 12, 24 hours, see if the weather models continue to paint that. As far as snow totals go, I think we get about 1 inch to 1.5 inches over the next couple of mornings. So, this morning and tomorrow morning, a little bit less down to the southwest and a little bit more up to the northeast, but nothing significant. We had anywhere from about 5 to 10 inches around the metro area Sunday into Monday and into western Wisconsin. So that was a lot. These are going to be what we call clipper systems, so they're pretty fast paced and they don't usually bring a lot of snow for us. Hey, check it out though. Saturday and Sunday we go from lower 20s up to about 32 degrees there on Sunday, so we do warm up a little bit early next week. But for now, we have a cold night for New Year's Eve night, down to about 0 by midnight, and then we'll have a couple cold days to wrap up the week.
So bring out the fur jacket, the big, the fancy stuff for New Year's Eve. Stay warm. Stay warm.
I love that.
Thanks, Joseph.
Yeah.
Heather and I recently sat down with our money expert to discuss why you might want to consider a financial advisor in the new year. That's coming up next. We have a financial expert on our show each week, but do you know it's a good idea to work with one?
Our money expert, Dustin Smith from Wealth Enhancement Group, here to join us. Dustin, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so I gotta give you a little gruff here. Why, Dustin, should we hire you?
Yeah, exactly. Right, so to be fair, this isn't a commercial for my company, but just in general, I think there are times where people may want to look at hiring a professional advisor to work with.
Why? What are some of those times?
Yeah, so I'm going to walk through maybe 5 different reasons. So number one reason is that, this financial advisor usually has an expertise in an area that you just don't have yourself, nor do you really have the desire to gain that expertise, right? Because let's face it, everything's out there on Google, right? You can learn a lot on YouTube University, as I like to say.
Right. Yeah.
But there's just a point in your life where you just have to ask yourself, do you want to learn all this? Do you want to become an expert? And if not, maybe it's a good time to hire someone else.
That's fair. What sort of things should you look for in an advisor relationship?
Sure. So I always say when you're looking with an advisor, you want to find someone that you can connect with, right? So I always say you want someone who you can call on your best day and your worst day. Because to be honest with you, it's not always fun and games in my job. And so you really want to make sure that you have a good, strong connection with that person, because once again, you hired them for a reason, and it's to help guide you through some really tough things sometimes.
And one of those reasons might actually be because when we talk about finances, emotion can certainly come into it, and an advisor is someone that might be able to remind you we're playing the long game.
Yes, so I think advisors hopefully can be someone who can give some objective advice, but also, you know, be kind of a coach, a behavioral coach, because we are humans. We make decisions based upon emotions all the time, and a good job of an advisor is try to help you not make those decisions just solely based upon emotions.
That makes sense. And I imagine too, different life stages might prompt someone to reach out to a financial advisor?
Yeah, so I would say time and complexity. So as you age, generally, the more complex your life generally gets. So for example, you and your spouse, by the time you get close to retirement, you might have 5 accounts each. And you think about all the different investments that you have in there and all the transactions that have to be made. Sometimes it just gets overwhelming to the point where people just have analysis to paralysis. Hiring an advisor can hopefully help you deal with the minutia and the mechanics of things in the background, so you can focus on the big picture.
I mean, because there could be like tax implications which change all the time, right? That you may not know about, that you need to make decisions there. When you're looking for this advisor, should you try him out? Should you interview him? Like, is that rude? Is that rude if I was to come meet with you and say, hey, let's just check each other out?
Yeah. So I mean, I always say the first meeting is just an introductory meeting. Most advisors will do that for free. And I think the purpose of that is just trying to understand who you are, what you're trying to accomplish, and ultimately if we can help. And so, you know, a lot of times I've met with folks who have met with, 2 or 3 other advisors, and for whatever reason it didn't click. Or sometimes, they might meet with me and be like, nah, not that guy. And that's fine, right? And that's fine. You need to find your person, and there's a lot of really great advisors for many different companies around
For sure. And it's not like you have to win the Powerball to get an advisor.
No.
Like, it can really just be for like regular people. But if you did, this is your guy.
Yes, I know somebody you can contact.
Oh, it's always so great to talk with you. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Well, a service dog can be a very helpful asset.
But we're finding out why there is a shortage of available service dogs across the country. And our lifestyle contributor Jasmine is sharing ways to make goals for the new year that are doable and sustainable. I'm here with Beret and Joseph, and it's going to be another chilly day. That's on tap, and then more snow.
Yeah, a little bit of both. At some point, we're going to warm up today, but it's probably not going to happen until later tonight, heading into probably the time that you're going to bed. So for now, it is pretty chilly. In fact, it's quite cold outside. Temperatures about 10, 11 degrees. We're going with the Green Tower because there's still a chance for a little more snow. And then we'll dry up a little bit, and then we have another round of snow to wrap up the year. And so I want to talk more about that event. We'll do that in my full forecast coming up at about 9:48.
All right, thanks, Joseph. The highest-ranking Republican in Minnesota is calling for all Somalis tied to fraud to be deported.
Even if they are U.S. citizens. Minnesota Congressman and House Majority Whip Tom Emmer made the call on Facebook last night, saying, quote, "If we need to change the law to do that, I will." He is also calling for the deportation of Somalis with ties to terrorist organizations or those who commit immigration fraud. And this comes as fraud investigations are intensifying. This is video from DHS showing federal agents on the ground in Minneapolis. We know that it comes days after a blogger posted a video alleging fraud at daycare sites. It's a video that's been viewed more than 100 million times on X. Investigative reporter Jonah Kaplan has been doing his own digging into the issue.
This is a video posted by YouTuber Nick Shirley over the weekend. He visited nearly a dozen Somali-owned daycares in the metro.
Where are the kids?
It's been seen more than 100 million times, shared and amplified by Elon Musk and members of the Trump administration. The allegations, these daycares are no different than the restaurants implicated in the Feeding Our Future scandal. Fake businesses only created to defraud the government, but the facts say otherwise.
There were 10 early learning and childhood daycare centers that were either visited or cited in that viral video. This is one of them here, right by 35th in Chicago. And look, brightly colored building, lots of signage, and there's a playground around the corner as well. And speaking to neighbors, people who work in the area, they said they've seen children, sometimes several dozen.
Our analysis found all but 2 of the sites have active licenses and were visited at least once by state regulators this year, some as recently as 3 weeks ago. Many sites, including the Future Leaders Early Learning Center, were cited for safety violations, but there was no evidence of fraud.
All child care centers in Minnesota receive 1 annual visit from the Department of Children, Youth and Families from our licensors, and these visits are unannounced.
State officials on Monday told WCCO News they're going to visit some sites again because of the concerns raised in the viral video, but there's been no reason to hold up payments or Medicaid reimbursements.
I think we have questions around when were these visits, when were the videos taken? For instance, were they during times that the center was scheduled to be open? Was it during the weekend? I think there's some clarity and questions that we'd like a little bit of additional information on.
In Minneapolis, Jonah Kaplan, WCCO News.
Now, we tried to speak with managers at the daycare centers we visited yesterday, but no one wanted to talk with us.
As concerns continue over fraud, several Republicans are pushing the blame to Governor Tim Walz. On Monday, 5 Minnesota GOP lawmakers called on the governor to resign, saying, quote, "This is not about politics or stunts, and we do not make a call like this lightly. The office of the governor deserves respect, and we've tried to give Governor Walz time to act." Now, this calls for Walz to resign. It comes less than a year from Election Day as the 2-time incumbent seeks a 3rd consecutive term. There's a slate of Republicans that they're aiming to take the state's top job from Governor Walz. That includes Speaker of the House Lisa Dameth, Dr. Scott Jensen, Army veteran Kendall Qualls, State Representative Kristen Robbins. David Schultz is a professor of political science at Hamline University. He says there is a recipe for Republicans to win with the right candidate.
The state has taken a hit in terms of reputation, but Governor Walz's reputation has also taken a hit, and that's going to be defining his running for a 3rd term. He's got a major problem in terms of changing the narrative and changing his identity.
It's been nearly 2 decades since a Republican won a statewide race in Minnesota. For thousands of Americans, service dogs are more than just a pet. They're a life-saving healthcare tool.
And now, across the United States, there's a growing wait list to get one. According to the CDC, 1 in 4 Americans live with a disability, but less than 1% have a service dog. The problem isn't a lack of dogs who are ready to learn. There's a lack of puppy raisers. These caregivers foster future service dogs until they're old enough to have formal training.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's one of the hardest things that you'll do. It was really the beginning of something much bigger.
The volunteer shortage is a growing national crisis. If you want to help here in Minnesota, some local organizations include Can Do Canines and Helping Paws.
And you still have time to make a difference in a Minnesota veteran's life in 2025. Our ongoing partnership with the Minnesota Assistance Council for Veterans, or MACV, continues through New Year's Day. One way you can help is through donations. You can text MACV to 44321 or donate online at wcco.com/holidays.
Over in New York, they're getting ready for the big New Year's celebration in Times Square. And if you're already thinking about resolutions, you're not alone. But instead of big promises that don't last, what if there was a better way?
Well, our lifestyle contributor, Jasmine Stringer, she's here with a fresh take on New Year's goals. Thanks for being here, Jasmine.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me, right? Have you set your goals for the new year?
Started thinking about it.
I think so, yeah. And you gave us some pens
Yes,
and
so
paper.
we're going to do a little activity as our time together. But, you know, the first thing is we always hear this language, like, what are your New Year's resolutions? Right. And we know the statistics, like 23% of people are going to fail or stop their New Year's resolutions by the first week of January.
No, by week 1?
By week 1.
I didn't know that.
By week 1, yeah. So why not, let's just say we're not even playing that game this year. I'm not even doing resolutions. Let's start off by just saying, you know, I'm setting some intentions. I'm establishing some goals. So start with a reframe of what you are actually creating for the new year. Then I love this thing by James Clear, like habit stacking.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with with this concept?
Not really.
Yeah, explain it, please.
It means that, you know, we say we want to do things. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to work out 3 times a week. Well, girl, yeah, you're going to work out 3 times a week, but if you haven't been working out at all, how do you think you're going to go from 0
to 100
to 50?
Yeah.
So why not just say, like, you know what? I'm going to make sure that my tennis shoes are by the door every single day for 2 weeks. Yeah, pack the gym bag. Make sure it's in the car. So you start doing the thing. Then it's like okay, so you stack on a habit that you're already doing. The gym bag is in the car, so when you go to work. And then by week 3, it's like, okay, then I'm ready to move into the gym, and I'm going to commit that I'm actually going to work out 1 day a week. So you're building that habit by stacking it on
one step
to
at a
something
time.
that you're already doing. Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. And that seems more doable, right?
More doable,
rather than just jump in head first.
Yeah.
That's not going to last.
Yeah.
And then I like to say that we should be holistic in our approach to setting our goals.
Yeah.
I want you to imagine that you are a yummy smelling onion. If you ever slice an onion, you know what? Onion has all of these layers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And guess what? We have all of these layers to our lives. So what are the goals that you are making for the big important layers? You know, of course, maybe career, family, spiritual. But what are the important layers of your life? And then what are those intentions and goals that you can start to create?
Because if you don't exactly know what the important layers are, then how are you supposed to create those
Exactly.
goals?
Exactly. And only you get to decide what layers are important to you.
Okay.
Right?
Yes, I like this a lot.
And so I said we're going to do a little activity.
Yeah, let's do it.
I have some markers and note cards.
Okay.
One of the things that happens is when people don't often, here I know you wanted the pink one, people don't often succeed or they start to feel burnt out or overwhelmed, is that there is misalignment to their values. So I want you to identify your top, I say 5, but we only have a little time, so top 3 values that you are going to center your intentions and goal setting on. Because it should be connected to who you are, who you are as a person, who you want to be in the world, how you want to show up in the world. So it needs to be that value sync.
I love it. Jasmine, thank you so much.
Thank you.
On these, and we'll sync up with you next time.
Happy New Year, right? Yeah, okay, next time I'm here, I'm going to ask you, and you can keep your cards by your desk.
There we go. Thank you, Jasmine. All right, you can also find more of Jasmine's lifestyle tips and her thoughts on seizing the day on her website, Carpe Diem with Jasmine.
Earlier, we told you today is National Bacon Day, so we wanted your feedback on how you like this food. Angela says.
Yeah, Angela says, I love a BLT sandwich with thick sliced applewood smoked bacon, garden fresh tomatoes, lettuce, and freshly baked cracked wheat bread. That sounds so good.
Julia says, for my breakfast, I love toast with peanut butter and then bacon on it. Oh, that sounds really good.
Mixing it up. And then we've got another one from Anne. She says, I'll eat bacon with anything as long as it's crispy, with eggs wrapped around water chestnuts, dates, or pineapple. Oh, pineapple.
Interesting.
In a sandwich or just on its own. All right. All great suggestions. Thanks for your feedback. Hey, are you throwing a New Year's party at home?
We're going to be getting some cocktail and mocktail ideas to make your guests happy. But first, here's today's CBS Deals. Us now. Thank you so much for being here. You have some new ideas for both cocktails and mocktails.
Yes. We have some of our traditional cocktails and just kind of plays on them, and then the mocktail is just growing and growing and growing. So there's some great ideas for some mocktails as well too.
Should we talk about that first?
Yeah.
The mocktails, because
they're having a moment.
This pink number with the olives. Tell me about this.
So that is a play on a Negroni with a spiritless Aperol. The spiritless, or excuse me, the liquorless spirits are a huge growing trend in the business. So we have a liquorless tequila and a whiskey here, so you still get that flavor of tequila and whiskey. And those canned cocktail or canned mocktails as well too. There's a Cosno and a Mojito.
Funny.
So you still get those flavors that people want, but it doesn't have the alcohol that goes with it. So you still can enjoy your New Year's Eve cocktail.
Exactly. Cheers to the new year.
Yes.
And then you said some of the cocktails have a different spin.
Yeah. So with that play on a Negroni, they use we use an olive brine in it. So it kind of gives it the bite that you miss sometimes with not having the alcohol in it.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
And that's kind of the trend with mocktails. There's a twist on them to balance out the flavors without having the liquor that's in them.
Okay, if you're hosting and making these drinks, sometimes it's a little intimidating. Somebody who doesn't want to be behind the bar all night. I mean, what's the best way to host these drinks?
A lot of these drinks can be in a batch. So this is a pomegranate margarita. You can just take your recipe and times it by 4, 5, 6, put it in a pitcher and pour it over ice. Same with sangrias are really good for New Year's Eve, where you can just have a pitcher of it and go around. A lot of the cocktails that don't have any bubbly in them are really easy to batch out and just kind of increase it by 4 or 5 times depending on how many people you have over.
Yeah, just make it in a batch. If you don't want to just have a cooler of beer. A cooler of beer works, you know.
It does.
That works too.
If you want to get a little fancy with it.
There you go. I feel like a drink just elevates an event too, whether it's a cocktail or a mocktail.
Absolutely.
It just brings it up a notch.
Walking around with your martini glass just makes you feel a little bit nicer when you have on your fancy clothes.
Yes.
Okay, out of all of these, which one do you feel like I should try? Which one's your favorite?
I'm a margarita person. I love tequila. So I have a pomegranate margarita and then a spiritless margarita as well too, made with the spiritless tequila. So I'd love for you to try either one of those.
Okay,
As we do, which one do you want? What's happening for New Year's Eve at Dock and Paddle?
So we won't be open for New Year's Eve this year, but at the beginning of February, we are going to do a cocktail mocktail dinner. So you'll get your choice to either do a mocktail or a cocktail. Try to just encompass everyone. We'll have information up on our website here in the next couple days about that. But it should be a fun event where everyone can come out and enjoy it. And then we're going to do a play on noodles for the food. So all the dishes from your salad to your dessert will be noodle based.
Sounds like fun.
Marcus, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Joseph, maybe a warm beverage.
For
today.
New Year's. That might be nice.
Okay, I just want to give it a shot. I like the idea of the olives.
Me too, right? I know. Cheers.
Yeah.
Love it. How is it?
It's good. I get the olive.
It's very olive,
which is cool with me.
There you go. Well, thank you, Marcus. Up next, a kitten has an incredible stowaway adventure that's coming up. A little kitten had a big adventure this Christmas, traveling all the way from South Dakota to Forest Lake, Minnesota.
Check this out. A semi driver heard a faint meow while driving, and then when he opened the cab, he found this adorable orange kitten, which then ran away into different parts of his semi. But this Christmas surprise is now being cared for by a companion animal care and control. This tiny stowaway needs a name though, and they want your help. They're asking for holiday themed names. So if you have an idea, just go to Companion Animal Care and Control Facebook page, add a comment. Some people have suggested, all the reindeer, Dasher, Prancer, Rudolph, but also like Wheelie, Stowy, Trucker.
That's so cute. I like Nutmeg. That was another suggestion.
Cute.
I'd really like the best story ever would be if the truck driver adopted Nutmeg.
That would be so good.
Little just name now?
Yeah, that's the name now.
It's a truck cat now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so today temperatures will be warming up through the day. It'll feel a little bit warmer closer to dinner time, about 31. But just watch out for a little more snow here over the next couple of hours. It's going to be on the light side. We'll do it again tomorrow. And then we have a cold night Wednesday night, but we have all the updates you need coming up at noon.
All right, Joseph, thanks. Local news continues right now on your streaming service, CBS News Minnesota, and we'll be back on TV and online at noon. Have a good one.